That's cool. That's humor I like, man.
And it's going to be on Ohana once again. So Rhett versus Nerchio on Ohana. Can the King of Drones take out the Polish powerhouse?
I think from the guys that we've seen after tours, and I think the person that is most likely to do it might actually be Liquid Red. Ace and Nerchios, of course, are Zerg spawning in the left top side of Ohana. A little bit confused. The Polish Zerg
There's
player.
only one quarter left, Kev.
Yes. I almost had them all, and then we have Liquid Red who did spawn at the right bottom side of this map. Both players awesome guys, and also a very awesome StarCraft players. And Ben, what can you tell them about their ZVT styles? Oh, ZVZ.
Well, I mean, obviously they've both evolved a lot over the years. I used to practice ZVZ with Rhett back in the day, and after he would get tired of beating me with Zerg, he'd play Protoss and beat me with that. But
that's what Dutch players like to do, because that's how I started playing competitive RTS back then, and against Grubby in Warcraft 3. Like, he was playing me against his off races, and he was feeling so cool. But I was happy, man, because I was like this unknown newbie, and I was playing against the off race of Grubby, so I thought it was really cool.
I've never beaten Rhett in a ZVZ. I was really, really close one time, and then I realized I was winning, and I kind of freaked out. Like, you know that feeling you get when your heart starts racing really fast, and then you make a couple of mistakes, and he was able to turn it around?
You know, I had that feeling when I was playing FIFA against Rhett. That was more intense than our StarCraft 2 games, man.
What was it called? The Crone?
The Drog.
The Drog.
Anyone who ever played FIFA 10 or FIFA 9, I'm not sure which one it was anymore, will remember that Chelsea was ridiculously good in the game, and certainly Drogba was just insanely good. And I had a very awesome... I went to Red's house for a few days, 3-4 days, we played some StarCraft. That was very early on when he just joined Team Liquid, so a long time ago. And we started playing FIFA, and he got really mad because I kept picking Chelsea. And every time I scored with Drogba, I was like, Red, look! The Drog. And then he said like, oh, you're so freaking lame. Blah, blah, blah. Then he started picking Chelsea too. And then he started scoring with Drogba. And he was like, how did you call it? The Drog? Is it the Drog right here? And I was getting really mad. Man, our FIFA sessions were intense. Anyways, we have a gas opening over here for Nerchio.
Yeah, on both sides, in fact.
Okay, but the gas was a little bit quicker for Nerchio.
Yep, typical Nerchio style build. I wouldn't be that surprised to see him go for early roaches. That's kind of what he was famous for. He was playing roaches when everyone else said it was impossible to play roaches, and he was winning with it. So he still goes back to that every now and then. It's not unfathomable that he'll do something like that here. Red has gone speedling opening into a very fast expand. Nerchio could be doing the exact same thing, quite frankly. The current metagame is very Ling-Baneling.
You think we'd see either player play Ling Infestor?
You know, I really don't think so. I think it's a great play style, but I just don't think that stylistically it's what these guys like to do. I would love to see it, and I would love to eat my words, but I've never really known either of them to play that way in this matchup.
Both players just getting scouting down, want to check each other's naturals, and Red will get the confirmation that his natural was a little bit quicker, which also, of course, most likely means that Nerchio's gas was a little bit quicker, which means that Nerchio's speed was quicker. And look at Red. Red then instead dropping the Baneling Nest before getting Zergling speed. So trying to get a couple of Banelings out, I think immediately perhaps worried about a big Zergling attack from Nerchio.
Yeah, I think it's really smart and good and clever and all those things. Nerchio also getting his Baneling Nest, so both these guys playing very safe. Nerchio's managed to squeeze out 4 more drones than Red.
Yep, and he's still building drones as well.
One of the reasons is because he cheated and didn't build that spine crawler. This is actually a huge risk. If you skip that spine crawler...
Can we disqualify him for that so maybe he can finally lose?
If you skip that spine crawler, you can just straight up lose to so many all-ins. Pure speedling all-ins are brutal when you don't have that spine crawler there.
The Roti build.
But Nerchio perhaps... I mean, it's very viable. Perhaps knowing that his opponent is not the kind of guy that...
the Roti build is pretty good.
It's very viable. I agree with you.
It was very fun, guys. In Europe, I used to sometimes play some Zerg accounts on MrBitter's account. And when he was getting really mad for losing stupid ZVZs, I said, Ben, let me play a game. And he's like, there's no way you're going to win. And then I played just Zergling only, and I won.
The stupidest, like 14 drone, pure speedling. It's like the Ukraine star build.
I was just ahead of the metagame, man.
And
a lot of Zerglings on the field right now for Nerchio, at least 12. While there are 4 Banelings in production for Red. Nerchio also has a couple of Banelings over here. He's going to have to micro.
Spine crawler, no, he actually goes right past the spine crawler.
Oh, no, the Banelings, Red.
And that was actually not terrible for Rhett, but Nerchio is definitely getting the better end of this exchange. He's going to get a lot of drone kills here, 5 drone kills, and he's probably going to get the last. Wow, this is great micro by Nerchio.
God,
look at the micro. Good lord, this kid is so good.
Zerglings just do not die. Eventually, they will take too much damage from these ranged units, the Queen and the Spinecrawler. But still, a very, very nice attack by Nerchio.
Did you see how he was doing that? Pulling out groups and sending them around one side while the other group goes around the back.
I saw it, man.
Beautiful control.
I was there.
And Nerchio just going to run right back, knowing now that Rhett's going to have a small unit advantage. Now, this is the point in the game where skipping that Spinecrawler could really haunt Nerchio.
But Rhett is just droning up behind this. Ooh, it would have been awesome to for Rhett to get a really big Baneling detonation. Oh, it was so unfortunate for Rhett that he lost 3 of his 4 Banelings to the 2 Banelings of Nerchio. And that was, of course, perfect for Nerchio because that allowed him to be active with those speed links for so much longer than he should have been.
But because Nerchio was so afraid of the counterattack, actually Red has once again established a drone lead, 40 drones to 35. And he's going to be looking quite okay here moving into the mid game. We can see that Nerchio's got a lot of lings out on the map. We might see some more aggression come from him, in fact. And Rhett's going to have to be better with his control this time than he was in that previous engagement.
He only has 2 Banelings, but we know what Nerchio can achieve with 2 Banelings. But I don't think Red will fall for the same trick twice. He's Dutch, man. We don't do that.
Really good control on both sides. This is a very high-level ZVZ. Mutas are going to be the choice for Nerchio. I think it's very interesting that he's going to that.
I think Red has been watching a couple of the games, so he might have watched Targa versus Nerchio, because I think he thought he was going to play next, so it would make sense for him to watch that game. We do see the Evolution Chamber going down. Do you have any Overlords in the position?
I love it. Infestation Pit. And this is the perfect time for it. His Infestor Tech will be ready in time for the Mutas. So Rhett playing very smart. And Kevin, we might see Zergling Infestor out of Rhett. He still doesn't have the Roach Warren. And I love Zergling Infestor against Muta. It's almost a hard counter. The thing that is working best for Rhett right now, though, I'm sorry, for Nerchio right now, is that he's going to have his third so much faster.
Oh, look at Nerchio gets the hero Zergling into the main base of Rhett. He did, yes, now he definitely did see the Infestation Pit. So I think what this will do, I think Nerchio will only make a few Mutas. What do you think, Ben? I think he will make 7, 8, and then he was going to stop immediately.
Maybe even only 5, just to get the Overlords off the map and just to secure some map control.
And pick up a few drones.
Yeah, sure. Rhett right now, he's going to move out once more. Actually, Nerchio's got enough gas for 7, and I think it will be 7. Spire is done. Muta count will be...
I think 8 even.
Yep.
So Nerchio's just making a lot of them. I'm not sure if Nerchio's going to be able to keep this hatch alive. He doesn't really have that many Zerglings on the map right now. Only has 10. Banelings are coming. Great Banelings right there for Nerchio.
Beautiful. And the Spinecrawler
so sloppy by Red, though.
Should be able to be the heroes, and the Banelings will not achieve anything. More great play from Nerchio.
And this pretty much bought the time for Nerchio for his Mutas to spawn as well. So I actually think that... Oh god, Nerchio's just doing everything right. Look at this.
Yep, just superior in every single way, man. This guy's a ZVZ specialist, maybe the best in Europe. I would love to see him play some ZVZ against Slivko or Stefano. I think these are the other 2 guys with top-notch European ZVZ.
No, Slivko for other reasons. Nobody wants to beat Slivko. Otherwise, Slivko beats you.
Like you don't beat Slivko because
Slivko beats
your own life. It's kind of like playing against Braddock.
No, Slivko is actually really good in ZVZ. Though.
He is excellent in ZVZ.
Imagine a tournament between Dimaga, Braddock, and Slivko.
Oh god. I mean, Slivko and Dimaga are like the brute force kind of guys. Braddock is like the finesse killer, right? He's the piano wire while you sleep guy.
Braddock is the guy who would have an ultra risk as stealth assassin job.
Rhett does have his Infestors out, and he's managed to catch all of the Mutas, or most of the Mutas.
5 of them. That's a pretty big deal. He's going to be able to kill all 5, even though it costs him a lot of energy. He will take out these 5 Mutas, so that's a nice victory for Red. But Red should have never lost all these Zerglings to this one Baneling over here. That was a huge mistake, because this hatch was dead. There was no way that Nerchio was going to be able to keep it alive. It was 34 links against 10 links and 2 Banelings. Red just miscontrolled that a little bit, but Red is still far from down and out. He can definitely come back. He has all those Infestors, and if there's one, Red actually has a much bigger army than Nerchio as well. More Fungals landing. Nerchio just wants him to use the energy right now.
Actually, if Red just attacked right now, he might be able to win. Of course, most of his army supply is Infestor!
Oh
my god!
Man, that would have been something.
They actually didn't do as much damage as I thought they would. I guess because they don't do any bonus against Infestor, which...
Well, I actually think that these Mutas might be able to pick up 2 Infestors. First Infestor is down, second Infestor is going to fall as well. Wow.
Those are hero Mutas.
For a low HP Muta, that was not bad.
They're just going to fly right out. And essentially, at this point in the game, these Mutas are observers.
Fly like an eagle.
into the future.
And not only Nerchio's army supply is a little bit bigger. Worker-wise, they are relatively close to each other. Of course, the good thing is that Nerchio is mining off 3 bases. He has 6 extractors. He's able to get so many more infestors out, and it should also help him with the upgrades, even though Red is quite far ahead, actually.
I can tell you exactly what Nerchio is going to do with all that gas. He's going to make a ton of infestors. His upgrades are quite behind Rhett's, though. Rhett's about to have +2, Kev. And
Nerchio is just starting +1.
Yeah,
that's
something that could swing the battle. Like, if we get an even fight, those upgrades are going to be a huge deal. We can't forget, roaches get +2 attack for each upgrade.
But does Red actually have the energy right now to deal with all these roaches? Nerchio is going to sacrifice a lot of these roaches, but will he be able to take out the hedge?
Would rather see him use infested Terrans, and there they do go down. When the roaches are lined up like that,
I think Nerchio is making a small mistake over here. I think he's sacrificing a lot of roaches for no reason.
Yeah, he's going to lose a ton of units, but he's also killing all of Rhett's infestors right now. Just excellent choice there to just section off 4 or 5 roaches.
New infestor rallies in on the fortune moment. No, actually, wow, the infestor lives.
Ooh, no!
Dies.
Lives a second longer than we thought that he would, but does ultimately go down.
Nerchio did lose a lot of roaches there, but I'm not exactly sure if that attack was worth it. His economy is excellent, so yes, if Red's going to give him a lot of time, and I guess Red's going to have to give him time because he lost all the infestors, so I guess it was worth it after all.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, you have to realize that this now takes any sort of +2 timing away from Red, so he's not going to be able to push out and deny this 4th base, or if he tries to, he's going to be attacking into a lot of infestors.
I think very important is that Nerchio has Burrow as well, which Red doesn't have. I think that could be pretty crucial.
And Burrow, one of those upgrades that every Zerg player should always get every game, no matter what. It's just one of the best upgrades.
Yep. You get 4 gated, you get Burrow, guys. Listen to MrBitter.
Yeah, you get 6 gated, you get Burrow. You want to deny expansions, you get Burrow.
Of course. 4 gated 1 base, I wouldn't get Burrow.
Just don't take your natural, just get layer, get Burrow. I'm ready.
Try to 4 gate this.
Burrow your Zerglings on the ramp.
And you have like 3 spine crawlers on top of your ramp. And then burrowed banelings.
What if you could burrow your spine crawlers like underground?
Wow, that would be cool.
That would be so cool.
Don't give Blizzard any ideas, man.
I think it's. I still want to load banelings into spore crawlers. That's the one thing I want.
I think it's going to be fungal or infested Terrans over here, Ben.
Well, it's going to depend a lot on the engagement. If it's clumped, it'll be fungal. If they're lined up, if they have the concave, then infested Terrans is probably the better choice. Nerchio going to max out.
Maybe he should spawn like 2 infested Terrans, and then when all the drones get pulled,
yes, I love that. That's one of my favorite things to do, and it's something that we don't see often enough. But it's a really cute way to.
Destiny and Cats do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And those are very thinking players.
Cats had quite some success in the North American version of the Gauntlet. I believe he collected $300, so he qualified for the fan voting. That's always a guy who did well. Of course, TT1 did very good, won $300.
You were so sneaky, waiting for Rhett to move out. Now we'll see these infestors become active.
He's going to spawn infested Terrans.
We see him shift queuing it all up. The infested Terrans are all going to pop out at the same time. And does Rhett notice? He doesn't notice, Kevin. Oh, no. Drone massacre. And that hatchery is definitely going to fall. And now Rhett's in this awkward position, forced to use energy on the mutas.
Wow, those 3 mutas have been around for a long time.
Absolute superstars, those 3 mutas.
Red does still have a much bigger army, Ben. Because Red immediately remaxed on roaches, so Red is like, okay, I'm not going to play the long game anymore. There's no way I'm going to win a macro game.
But he's attacking into a higher infestor count, and there's just more energy for Nerchio. And for Red to attack, he has to come through chokes, and that's when the fungal becomes so brutal.
But his army is going to be a lot bigger. That's one thing that's going to help a little bit. Is going to be this. But wow, that's a beautiful concave for Nerchio, the Polish Zerg.
Absolutely a fantastic concave for Nerchio.
God, look at this line of roaches, Ben.
Red does have the superior upgrades, so if there's any way for him to win this game, it's through those upgrades. And
he had a little bit of a bank. He's remaxing on roaches immediately, but I think that concave is just too much. This is Braveheart all over again.
Way too much. This is Sparta, Kev, except this time there's 1 million Spartans and only 300 Persians. And unfortunately for Red, the Persian army was not enough.
Nerchio burrowing is going to get full HP on all these roaches immediately. Red tried to make something happen over there. I think maybe if he would have waited for actually all those roaches to be there, he could have made something happen.
Lose some overlords over here. That was an unfortunate misrally.
Yeah, I was watching during the fight. I actually thought that Red split up a couple of units, but that wasn't the case. Those were just OVs.
And maxed out Nerchio is going to go ahead and make a push, and this time it's up to Red to defend it. And I don't think he's going to be able to, Kev. He does have better upgrades, but he does not have the numbers. Nerchio crashing into Red.
He doesn't have the infestors either. Only has 2 infestors remaining. Nerchio has a lot more. Well, the upgrades are actually completely even right now, so not even that is working in Red's favor anymore. Nerchio taking down all these roaches from Red, and Nerchio is going to win his 5th game on their own here at the European NASL Gauntlet. Red calls GG. Nerchio wins again.
Great play from Nerchio, keeping the streak alive in the Nerchio ZVT practice for money.
$375 so far for Nerchio. Can anyone stop this man?
I don't know. I kind of doubt it at this point. I think the best bets right now are somebody like Slivko. I think Slivko could maybe win in ZVZ. Cass could maybe beat him in ZVT.
Cass couldn't play. He just wrote me. He said he wasn't able to play. He wanted to play before.
It's too bad. Maybe a player like you pointed out, Hasiwabs is a guy who stylistically might be able to beat someone like Nerchio.
The next player up is going to be Bling, though, so the British Protoss player is going to play against Nerchio. I think we might see some crazy all-in.
We might see a 2-base all-in out of Bling. Oh, I love Bling. He's so
Bling is going to take Nerchio down in the sickest macro game.
Bling's wearing his pirate tank top right now?
I don't know what Bling is wearing, but I'm sure that is awesome. Bling's looking over his arms and he's looking at all the ink that he got done over the last 2 months. He's like, I can do this.
He's gonna
get another tattoo. He's like, date of today, 8th of August, 1-0, Nerchio. Bling, you should go at it. So guys, we're gonna take a small break. We'll be right back with Bling versus Nerchio, so don't go anywhere.